So the movie starts off with Scarface McGee killing some random girl's entire family right in front of her and then proceeding to not kill the girl because why? There's no sensible reason for that. Just kill her, she's going to come back for revenge. That doesn't make any sense. If this is our main villain, he's not looking very smart right now. In the process of trying to kill the Revenger's parents, they end up blowing up his ship, so now he needs a new ship to go off world. And for some reason, he comes and steals Kara's ship, which is incredibly coincidental and only exists to drive the plot of the film. Out of all the other ships on the planet, he chose her ship specifically because why? In the process of stealing Kara's ship, Scarface McGee poisons Crypto, and then now Kara has to go meet him to go get the antidote from him. But she takes a bus and then the bus goes off world, but she leaves the Revenger on the planet where they were, and then out of nowhere, while the bus is in space, the Revenger just shows up on the bus. How did she get there? She wasn't at the bus stop when Kara got on board, and the bus hasn't made any other stops. The bus is in space currently. It has left the planet where she was on. How is she now on the bus? This is another plot contrivance that just teleported her magically to the place where Kara is so that the plot can happen. The bus gets attacked by space pirates who are robbing everybody. Kara picks a fight with them. They end up overpowering her, and then instead of just instantly killing her, they just trap her in a separate corner of the bus, which is another plot contrivance which is only there to make sure that Kara is able to get out into the yellow sun so that she can get her powers. Later on, they try to kill her multiple times, so why didn't you just kill her immediately? Other people that were causing far less trouble than her, you were electrocuting them for minimal reasons. Why not just kill her instantly? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so at this point, she has found Scarface McGee and she has seen the antidote that she needs to save her dog. But then there's a riot, or there's this whole thing where they start kidnapping some women, or some women escape and they have to re-kidnap them, whichever one. So she gets distracted for a bit and she has to help save the women that they are kidnapping. But then at a certain point, she stops saving women and people, even though there are still people being kidnapped all around, and she's just fighting random bad guys. You have all your superpowers, why not just use your X-ray vision to find the main guy, Scarface McGee, get the antidotes from him, and maybe kill him to get revenge for the Revenger, and then the movie is over. Why are we still wasting time here? This is the 5th fight scene where she is in a brown environment and fighting a bunch of no-name faceless bad guys. We don't need to be watching this. The movie is over. Get the antidote, kill the bad guy, and then move on. Also, you have super speed. If you really want to save all these people, you can do that just like that. Why are we wasting time? You don't even need to find the main Scarface McGee guy. They carry the antidote on their person. They all have the poison. They all have the antidote. All the people you're fighting, you could just get the antidote from one of them. Use your X-ray vision. Why are we wasting time? Also, Supergirl's flying looks horrible. She's clearly just being dangled on wires. There's no way this is a real person that is flying. It looks very, very bad. So after wasting time fighting a bunch of faceless bad guys in another brown, ugly environment, the main, what's his name? What did I call him? Scarface McGee guy escapes through a dimensional portal, and now she interrogates a guy to tell her where he is. So they put a bag over her head, put her in a spaceship, and then take her to a different planet. But it turns out that the planet is in between two suns, a green sun and a yellow sun. The yellow sun gives her her powers, the green sun takes away her powers because kryptonite motif, I guess. I don't fucking know, but that doesn't make any sense because you're Supergirl. You have super sight, super hearing, super senses. You can see through the bag, you can see through the spaceship. Why wouldn't you case your environment? Why won't you look around you, look around the solar system that they're taking you to? Because you have to be hyper aware of the fact that certain suns take away your abilities. You should know that, okay, you're going to a place where there are going to be bad guys. Are you going to have your powers there? You should be constantly self-aware of which solar system you're in. And in a situation like this where a bunch of bad guys are taking you to meet another bunch of bad guys, it's like, why weren't you using your X-ray vision to look out for which sun was closest to the planet where they were taking you? This doesn't make any sense. Also, this is the second person who has promised to lead you to the person that you're looking for. The first group of people betrayed you. One would think that you would use common sense and be on alert. You will be suspicious, you'll be skeptical, you'll be cynical about the people who are helping you get to the person you're looking for, because the last set of people betrayed you and you just put your complete trust in this random guy because why? So the Revenger shows up to help Kara heal and rest for a while. Supergirl, and this time around they actually explain how she got to the planet of the location where Kara is. It turns out she hitched a ride on the ship when she saw that Kara got on the ship. She didn't just teleport via magical plot teleportation services. She goes out to get water for Kara to drink, then she gets kidnapped, and Scarface McGee starts asking her where Kara is, which doesn't make any sense because just tell your men to look in the general area where she was kidnapped. Look up, that's where Kara is. Then later on, the Revenger escapes by manhandling a man who is twice her size, both in height and width and weight, which doesn't make any sense because a small girl should not be able to overpower such a big man. All you have to do is to punch her in the face or punch her in the stomach. Why are you struggling? She's not stronger than you, she's not more conniving than you. You pick her up from your back and then you throw her on the floor. How did she overpower you? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, she's free now, so she also releases Lobo because he says that he's going to help her fight the brigands. But then immediately Lobo is free, she escapes through a vent and proceeds to not work with the person who she just freed for the sole purposes of gaining his help. Okay, the way she leaves the room doesn't make any sense because she's walking right behind Lobo and then 2 seconds later we turn back, she's not there and there's an open vent above. How did you do all that without making a single noise? You're not Spider-Man, you're not a ninja, you're not a trained assassin. How did you do that? But it's okay because that's just set up for an even dumber scene which comes right after, where she's in a bathroom with a guy that is taking a piss, and for some reason all the noises she's making with the door and collecting the sword and moving around, he's not noticing and realizing, oh, there's somebody here. And then out of nowhere she gets back up into a vent without making a single noise, without making a single fucking noise the entire time she's doing all that climbing, and gets back in the vent. He doesn't hear her, nobody hears her. You're not a ninja, how are you doing this? You should be dead right now. She gets to the top of a ship, Scarface McGee catches her, then she just watches him wrap a rope around her, which does not make any sense because you're agile and quick and conniving enough to worm your way through vents without making a single peep, but you're not fast enough or tricky enough or conniving or assassin or ninja like enough to escape a fucking rope that you're watching him roll around you in real Okay, anyway, instead of killing her instantly like he has been doing with everybody else he has been encountering, he wastes time and then Supergirl comes to the rescue, which is super fucking lucky that the the green sun went away and the yellow sun came out right in time for her to be at this very moment to save the Revenger. So that's nice. Another just great coincidence. If Kara had been here just 5 seconds later, the Revenger would be dead. The Revenger should be dead at this point, but you know, her plot armor is so impeccable. Anyway, Kara decides to waste time by stopping to talk to the bad guy and punch him for a bit instead of just killing him and getting the antidote. So he hits her with a kryptonite arrow thing and then she takes it away. Then he hits her with even more kryptonite arrows. Then instead of her to just pluck out the other arrows like she did the first one, she just sits there and then he continues to waste time by continuing to talk to her, and then instead of again killing her instantly, he brings in another guy to come and chop her head off. And instead of him killing her instantly, he wastes time and then Lobo shows up just right in time at the nick of time to save her again. Another coincidence. If he had showed up 2 seconds or 5 seconds later, she'd be dead. And then she just plucks out the arrows anyway and her powers are back instantly, just like that. Why didn't you pluck out the arrows while he was talking to you? Why did you waste time? Why did you give up? What? I don't know why Lobo wasted so much time getting up here. All he had to do was get his weapons and then come to the place where all the noise is being made. There's a fight up here, there's action, come here. The guy you're looking for is most likely going to be here. What are you doing wasting time inside the ship? While Kara is still plucking the arrows out of her chest, Scarface McGee sees Lobo and Kara right in front of him. Instead of stabbing and killing the one person who is the most powerful person on the planet who wants to kill him, he goes and stabs Lobo instead, which doesn't affect him at all. Then Kara blasts him with her heat vision. Nice. I also love how the Revenger has been dangling from the side of the ship for the past god knows how long, and Kara just hasn't either noticed or done anything about it, even though she has super hearing. So, you know, that's cool, that's nice. Now this is where things get really stupid. I know, it's hard to believe, but it gets even worse. So when Supergirl blasts her laser vision at Scarface McGee, there's still one kryptonite arrow in her body. That means she doesn't need to get all the kryptonite out of her system in order for her to use her powers. She has her powers now. But then for some reason, the movie still treats her as if she doesn't have her powers and she's still in a weakened state, even though we just saw her use her laser vision on Scarface McGee. Keep in mind, throughout this entire time, she's outside, she's in the sun, she's on a spaceship that's as close to the sun as could possibly be. She's high up in the sky, she's very close to the sun. Then instead of just going to get Scarface McGee and save the Revenger, she decides to enter a tank and start fighting some random guys for no reason. The tank falls into the water. Instead of her to use her powers and just escape and deal with that instantly. She's still there just mingling with them for no reason. Then she finally remembers she has her powers. She blasts the fattest laser beam out of her eyes, escapes, flies up to the sky, and then the movie treats it as if, oh, now she just got her powers because she's in the sky and she's looking at the sun, and the sun is eradicating the kryptonite from her system. Even though before she got into the tank and got into the water, she was in the sun. So why wasn't the sun helping her body at that particular point in time? What's the difference? At what point did she get her powers? At what point did she lose her powers? The movie at this point in time is being very inconsistent with when she has her powers and when she doesn't have her powers. Because she was in the sun before she got into the tank. She got into the tank, used her powers to escape the tank, then got back into the sun, which she was already in before she got into the tank. And now the movie is behaving as if, oh, this sun exposure is different from the sun exposure she had before she got into the tank. What? After finally realizing that she needs to save the Revenger, she goes and does that, and then instead of getting the cure from Scarface McGee, she goes and starts trying to save the adopted kidnapped women who are supposed to be brides for the misogynistic pirate men, which have not been a priority this entire time. This movie doesn't know its priority. Are we here to save the girls or are we here to save crypto? It just keeps shifting priorities based on whatever the plot wants Kara to do at that particular point in time. You could have just gotten Scarface McGee and the movie will be done. Why are we going back to save the girls? You never cared about the girls. Kara's motivations at any particular point in time in this movie is completely dependent on what the plot wants her to do. That's it. She has no real agency in her own story. The plot is only making Kara save the girls now so that Scarface McGee can surround the Revenger with all his people and they can have that scene. But again, instead of killing her instantly, Scarface McGee wastes time talking to this girl. You have a projectile weapon. She's surrounded with your men. Someone should stab her. Someone should shoot a fucking crossbow arrow into her head and kill her and be done with it. Then when he realizes that, oh, Supergirl is coming, he tries and he actually remembers, oh, I have a brain, I have a body, I can run and I can actually try and kill this girl. He tries to rush and kill the girl, but then Kara catches him. Why didn't you kill her before? Why are you wasting time talking to her? Are you dumb? Even though Kara just flew off with their boss and is most likely going to kill him, the other bad guys are surrounding the Revenger right now and none of them kill her. They just stand and wait for Kara to come back and kill all of them. This tiny little girl's plot armor is actually fucking insane. So over the course of the runtime of the movie, a concurrent recurring theme is that revenge is bad because the Revenger wants some revenge on the guy who killed her parents. And I don't know why this is a theme. I don't know why Kara keeps telling her to not get revenge because this is just some generic superhero basic bitch bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. If there was a part of Kara's backstory where she got some revenge and it made her a worse person or it didn't bring her happiness, one could understand where that logical through line is being drawn from. But it's just random. Oh, revenge is bad because revenge is bad. But then at the end, she just ends up killing the Scarface McGee guy anyway, so what's the point of telling her not to get revenge if you're just going to steal her revenge? By your logic, getting revenge is bad. He poisoned your dog and then he killed that little girl's family. You got revenge for your dog, but she can't get revenge for her family. And also, what's with this whole thing about killing being bad? You shouldn't kill him. Killing is a bad thing. The people, his goons and his bad guys, he just killed all of them. You were blasting them with your laser vision, destroying their vehicles, tossing them around. They're all dead. And in favor of the other generic, non-specific brown sludge background fights you've been having, I'm pretty sure you've killed a lot of those people too as well. So what exactly is this theme of the movie, killing is bad, when at the end you just kill, the beginning you kill, in the middle you kill, and at the end you get the revenge instead of letting the girl get her revenge? What? Okay, I'm also a big fan of how meaningless her superhero costume is. For the entire runtime of the movie, she's just wearing a ugly brown jacket, and then at the end, the Revenger brings her suit and drops it in front of her and is like, oh, plot says this is the final battle, it's the third act final boss battle, I better wear my suit. There's no meaning behind it, there's no deeper layer, there's no subtextual reasoning behind why she wasn't wearing the suit and now she's going to wear the suit. It's like, oh, I didn't believe in it before and now I believe in it. There's not even that. She's not wearing the suit and now it's time for the third act final battle, so she's going to wear the suit. That's it. This movie is very meaningless. The protagonist is bad, dumb, forgets how to use her powers, doesn't know what right thing she should be doing at any particular given point in time. The antagonist is dumb, he doesn't know what he's doing, he keeps wasting time stopping to talk instead of killing the people he's supposed to kill. He doesn't even have any real or meaningful motivations. He's just a bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy. It doesn't get more generic than that. The plot doesn't make any sense. It's riddled with contrivances left, right, center. The theme doesn't make any sense because at the end the protagonist just goes against it anyway. don't watch this. Don't waste your money. Just give me money on Patreon. Subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the description. You'll enjoy yourself way more than paying for this fucking movie in the theater. Alright, that's it. Oh yeah, and Lobo was great. Give Jason Momoa a Lobo movie before he gets too old and dies. Alright, bye.